baby.
Hello, nasty. Hello there.
Hello.
I say hello.
Hello, friend.
Well, hello, little girl.
Hello, my treacherous friends.
Hello, operator. The beginning of everything.
Welcome back, my friends.
It's showtime.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Brink of Sanity for the second week in a row, episode 203. This is the first time we've done consecutive weeks in about, 7 years?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people listened to last week's episode and thought it was kind of depressing. And so going with that theme, this week we're going to do a top 5 favorite funerals we've been to. Jay is then going to talk about the first time he saw his mother naked. And then we're going to talk about whether each of us was ever touched by an uncle.
And top 5, we'll do top 5 relative deaths.
Yes. And then we're going to recount the last, every time we've cried in our lives.
Yes. In chronological order, of course.
Jay, when's the last time you've cried? Watching a Knick game?
I think so, yeah.
What's going on? How you doing?
I am mediocre, which is, I guess, better than last week.
Sweet. How is the anxiety, the ever-going saga of your life?
Oh, it's this week was borderline crippling.
What the hell happened? What's wrong with you?
I don't know.
Why are you going with this is your therapy?
I started getting the jolting awake thing again, so I went a long time without sleeping. But my friend is more into. Oh, I'd also like to say thank you to a few people who sent nice messages about anxiety. That was, I know it's a comedy show, so I figured most people don't care if we,
I'm the
live or die.
co-host, and I don't even care. Go on.
Yeah, the co-hosts don't usually care. So, we got messages from Chris and Sarah and sorry, I forgot the last third person, but thank you for sending those messages. The
Now it's already. Well, thank you for sending it. The life has been tough. I'm gonna cry for the next 10 minutes. Why was it borderline crippling this week?
Oh, well, I was getting that jolting awake thing. I told you about last time.
Yeah.
Well, when that happens all night, you don't sleep, and then you have to work and go to school afterwards.
How? It's like you have a baby. How often does it happen during the night?
Every time you're just about to fall asleep, every single time until 3:30 in the morning.
Wow. Do you just think you have some kind of hidden issues you need to work out that are leading to all this subconscious crap?
Maybe. I don't know. Probably. I mean, it's not like a normal thing that happens.
There's got to be something where it's just there can't be something like a genetic trait where you're just you get anxiety. It has to be something I don't know. Let's go to my top 5. I have a would you rather that I think is perfect for you.
Oh, okay. Let's do it.
Would you rather win $1 million in the lotto, or would you rather get a perfect 8 hours of sleep every night for the rest of your life? Or you just go with keep your current situation, whatever.
I'd go with the million, but if you replace that with not having anxiety every day, I would take that over the $1 million.
See, for me, with the how bad my sleep is with the kids, and how I don't know when I'm ever going to sleep normally. At least I feel like you have some hope to get through this anxiety stuff. My hope is when they hit 7. I think I would take the 8 hours of sleep, perfect 8 hours of sleep, over the $1 million.
Yeah, at some point you just want sleep.
Yeah, at some point it's just you would just feel better every day. That the $1 million could not buy maybe it's $10 million. I'd say screw it, but $1 million, I would say I'd rather just feel good every day.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that. Alan was the third person that I need to thank.
Okay.
So yeah, my friend is more he was vegan for a while, and he's more into this more natural stuff, and his wife had bad anxiety, so they went to some more holistic doctor, and they gave her a bunch of medications, and it totally cured her anxiety, and she was having the same thing as me.
Yeah.
Since I guess they're not as full of chemicals, you can actually get them on Amazon. So I ordered all 3 of those things on Amazon this week, so I'm gonna start taking those as soon as they show up. So that's a positive anxiety update. So I'll let you know how that goes.
The positive anxiety update is I ordered a bunch of random pills that someone told me worked on Amazon, which is totally you can buy over the counter because no one regulates them. And I'm going to stuff my mouth with full of these random pills that I have no idea what's actually in them that claim to be natural. And this is what I've come to, basically. And so that's the positive news.
Well, when you
My
say it like
positive
that,
news
it
is
doesn't.
I will buy anything, basically, anyone says works at this point.
When you say it like that, it doesn't sound as good.
The positive news is now I resorted to drugs that are not regulated by the United States government.
Well, I mean, Paxil's regulated, and that stuff was like terrible. So I figured it couldn't be too much worse.
So Axe body wash, I freeze it, I chop it up into little pieces, and then I snort it, and it's supposed to work for my anxiety.
Good, I'll try it.
What's this stuff called?
One of them is Cavanace. The other one is Calm PRT, and I don't even remember what the third one was. One of them showed up today, so I think by
Are you supposed to
Wednesday.
take them all together, or?
Yeah. So I'm gonna wait till Wednesday when I have everything, and then I'll make my little concoction and see what happens.
Okay, so let's see what the negative reviews on Calm PRT are.
There is.
We are gonna let's go to the 26 reviews.
They're all positive.
I'm sure they are. Let's just see what Amazon has to say. Let's go to the 2 1-star reviews.
See, 2 out of 26. That's pretty damn good.
This is just Banaba. You can get anywhere for 80% less. Okay, overpriced, whatever. And then, though much research and doctor suggestion we put on our son on Calm PRT and Calm G. In the month that he was on it, we saw absolutely no change in his behavior, and he later died. Okay, part. Or schoolwork. We could not continue to pay this price just to see if maybe.
So they're
Okay,
using it for his son to do better in school, and it didn't work. Great review.
He also complained of a burping the taste up, which was disgusting to him.
Okay, well, I get that from fish oil pills, so,
Okay.
So, yeah, mostly positive reviews.
Here it says, I never had an erection again, and I now dress like a woman.
Okay. Worth it to not have an anxiety attack.
Would you rather make $10 million a year, but have anxiety attacks once a day, or would you rather make $50,000 a year?
50,000.
It's
I'm
not
at a
bad.
desperation point. I always go with the money answers.
How about $100 million a year? You make $100 million a year, but have an anxiety attack once a day.
No, I can't deal with this anxiety.
Wow.
Yeah.
What about $10 million a year, anxiety 3 times a week?
No.
Once a week.
Yes.
Would you rather become a celebrity and have a wonderful 20-year career, but your career would end in a major disgrace like Bill Cosby, or would you rather be you?
Ooh, that's a good one. Do I have to rape people? Can it be like a...
Is this a positive or a negative for you?
Well, that's a negative. Like, couldn't I... Like, is it... Can I have something else? Like a...
It has to be a major disgrace, but you don't have to actually rape someone now.
I'll go with the 20-year career.
So, but it ends in real disgrace. Like, you come out, like, people are like, well, Jay, the comedian, he was a pedophile.
But you made so many
It
people...
has to be pedophile, rapist, something like really hardcore.
It couldn't be like a Tiger Woods, like I just banged everybody.
Because really, is that really that much of a disgrace?
He was disgraced.
Oh, that's not a big disgrace. It has to be Bill Cosby level of, like, a rape or something that bad.
Oh. Yeah, no, I
But
don't-
you don't actually have to have done it. Like, you can be like, you could be not guilty of it, but it basically has to come down to, like, 100%. There's nothing going around, like, proving your innocence.
Right. That's a tough one, because you made people happy for 20 years.
And you had a pretty good run of, like, the good life for 20 years.
Yeah.
And now you're like 50 something like that. Your life's gonna be worse, but you're still rich. But
Right.
people think really terribly of you now.
If I didn't do it and people just accused me of it, I would probably go with that.
Would you rather be guilty of something like that or not guilty and everyone thinks you did it? In the sense of like, would it almost be worse to not be guilty of it and have everyone like, then you'd be really fighting and everyone would just not believe you.
Yeah, no, that would be super, super frustrating.
Yeah.
But I guess that's better than being a pedophile.
Yeah, well, yeah. I guess. I didn't rape the 10 boys. I don't know what to. I don't. I didn't- like. I mean, I don't like them. I mean, I like 10 boys, not in that way. Would you rather win $50 million in the lotto or earn $1 million through hard work?
50 million in the lotto because then I could just retire and not work anymore.
Okay. Would you
$1
rather win
million,
$50 million?
you'd still be working. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess if you won $1 million, yeah, you wouldn't. You'd have a much easier life, but you wouldn't necessarily be like retired.
Right.
Okay, so let's say let's say it's $500 million in the lotto versus $10 million through hard work. Like, is there any? Do you really? I guess the question really comes down to: do you really give a crap how the money comes?
Not
like,
really.
Because some people would rather just like get it like they actually earned it.
I want to say I earned that. I can live with myself every day.
I earned it by trading derivatives that put old women on the street. I earned that shit.
Yeah, I don't care.
Uh,
I'm totally fine just winning the lotto. Really.
okay. Would you rather spend an hour each night having a nice, fun dinner with a good friends or significant other or family? You could change people each night. So basically, 1 hour each night, you have a nice, meaningful dinner and like hang out with someone. And you work. Or would you rather work at a job that pays $10 million a year, but you work until 10 p.m. most nights during the week and at least one full day every weekend? And you get 2 weeks of vacation. But basically, you work at a job where hours are pretty hardcore, and basically you have 1 day off at most a week. You make $10 million a year.
You do make $10 million a year. I'd probably go with that. Screw people. Just yeah. I mean, then you work for like 3 years, then retire, and then you see everybody all the time.
I was reading this. I didn't want to ask the exact same question, but I'm reading this book about the brain, and it talks about happiness, and says like winning the lottery versus like having dinner with a friend each night for an hour. Like for actual happiness, the hour with each friend every night, it's going to be much more meaningful and make you much happier than winning that one-time event like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, it makes sense. Like, let's say you win $100 million, but your life's like still like you're still not the happiest person, or like you still don't have like good relations with people, or who knows. Versus like every night you have like you have fun every night, basically.
I feel like I'd have fun every night with $100 million.
Probably, yeah.
That seems like they're not mutually exclusive. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, I won the lotto, but I'm like,
That's why I
on
tried
house
to make,
arrest.
That's why I said like you had a job where you had to work all the time.
Right, but I mean that guy's making it like, money doesn't buy happiness. Well, it kind of does.
Well, it was the whole point, which is basically a one-time event versus like a repetitive events or make you happier.
You know what's a multiple-time event? Looking at my bank account statement every day. Seriously, if you won $100 million, that would be the first thing I do every morning. Just open it up, look at all those zeros, and then go take a shower.
Jay, are you masturbating to your Citibank account again? yeah.
I mean, tell me you wouldn't look at that like all the time.
You probably wouldn't get old for a while. Would you rather make $1 million a year, but never be able to use the internet again, or make $50,000 a year?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer at first, but then you think like everything I do is on the internet. I mean, first of all, there'd be no podcast.
Right. So your life would be meaningless without the podcast. But yeah, you have no access to email, nothing internet related you can do, and you can't like have like a friend look it up for you. You don't have access to the internet.
Yeah, I don't think I could do that.
Okay, $1 million a year, or no access to TV.
That I could definitely do. The only thing I would miss is shitty Knicks games.
Yeah, but you wouldn't get to see any like. That would kind of suck not to have TV though.
But I'd have internet.
Yeah, you'd have internet. Yeah,
I would download every single show.
No TV. You can't download TV shows. So you have internet, but you can't watch TV through another means either.
Yeah, whatever.
It's hypothetical. Just go with it. You just don't have anything that's actually broadcast on TV.
Yeah,
you cannot
that's
watch.
fine. I don't have TV shows. I'll
$500,000 a year.
No, I think it'd have to be $1 million.
$8 an hour. Okay, this one's gonna be lower. 100 grand a year or play no video games. Let me put it higher than that. 300 grand a year, no video games.
Yeah, I could do that. Yeah.
I feel like that's the easiest one. Okay, last one.
This is coming from a guy who played 5 hours of video games last night too.
$1 million a year, but you can't hear music.
No. No, I would give up like almost all forms of medium before music.
That's the last one. $10 million a year, you can't hear music.
No.
Like literally, you're at a concert, and you're just like, I don't hear this. Why is everyone screaming? I don't understand.
No, definitely not. You know what? Some people have such a negative perception of video games. It's just weird to me. Like, I was at work.
You mean like adults?
Yeah, but it's not like, oh, well, I'm 25. This video game's fun. I'm 26. All video games are immature now. Like, I like. Is there a certain age where it's like, oh, they're not fun now?
Do you know who's really big into video games?
Who?
Adult Asian men, according to stuff I read online.
Well, yeah, everyone knows that.
Why? What's your example? Someone recently she said I was playing video games for 5 hours last night, and they were like, "What are you doing with your life?"
No, somebody was like, "Oh, what are you doing for New Year's?" I said, "I'm just gonna stay and have a couple friends over. We're gonna play video games." And she was like, "Video games," and just like gave this weird look. And I had a similar conversation with somebody else at work, and it was the same exact reaction, like video games.
Well, I guess if you said like we're just gonna hang out and watch like TV, no one really. It's probably for an adult.
See, that's the thing. It's like, oh, you can just sit there and stare at a TV, and that's totally acceptable. But if you're like playing a game, that's like, that's totally taboo. It just seems weird to me. Like you're an adult and you're sitting there staring at a box for 4 hours, and that's totally cool.
Well, I feel like if you said it for like just what you did over the weekend, no one would like look the other way. No one would say anything. But I feel like it's because it's New Year's. It sounds like an nth degree more pathetic.
No, the second conversation was just a weekend story. The first one was a New Year's one. The second one was just like, oh, I had a friend over. We played, games or something, Mario Kart or whatever.
Does the person like suddenly like treat you differently? Like they think lower of you now?
Yeah, all the reports I get now are in crayon. They use 3-word sentences, no bigger.
They're like, we were impressed when we spoke to you that you used eye contact.
The good thing is they let me have nap time now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, do you think the video games is a question like it's like perceived as a little kid, like a kid thing to do, or
that's
is it
what I
perceived
think? Yeah, I think
because I would look at the other way. I think it's perceived as like, wow, this guy's a loser. It's like a nerd kind of thing.
It's a weird perception because you could watch like that same lady probably went home and watched the Vampire Diaries. You know what I mean? Like she probably watched like some shitty TV show, and that's totally like acceptable.
You should have asked her what she was doing, and then like ridiculed that.
Yeah, like, oh, you're gonna watch the ball drop and watch Pitbull's music special?
And then she's like, well, let's just recount this conversation actually. Hi Jay. What are you going to do this weekend?
My buddy's coming over, and we're going to play some games.
Oh, you guys going to play like basketball or field hockey?
No, video games.
Video games? Is your buddy 12?
At what age is video games unacceptable?
I thought more of you, Jay. You're playing video games.
What are you doing this weekend?
I am helping the homeless. I'm serving a soup kitchen.
No, you're not.
And then I am going over to build homes for homeless people. And then I am saving orphans from Albania.
I think you might have exaggerated your weekend activities slightly.
I don't think one thing. I will show you the letter I get from the Albanian orphan who writes me every week.
All right, this is getting ridiculous.
Jay, maybe your video games is leading to your anxiety attack about being stuck in your youth/dorkhood. God, Jay, stop playing video games.
No, I will not.
Here is the box set of the Vampire Diaries. You should watch this. You'll be a better employee.
Are you sure you can part with that for an entire weekend?
It's okay. I'll be spending the whole weekend serving homeless people in a soup kitchen. You goddamn waste of society.
Well, I'm gonna be getting gold medals in Mario Kart, so sucks for you.
I didn't know you had a Mario Kart. Can I come over?
Exactly. Those people are just gonna be hungry again tomorrow. That gold medal's saved on my hard drive.
Oh god. You know what? I think I agree with you. It's one form of like one form of entertainment versus another one. Who gives a crap? But I find like the ones I find really more like weirder is if you're doing Mario Kart, it's just a play game. But like the role playing games, I find a little weirder.
Why is that weirder? Is that like nerdier or?
No, I just find it bizarre that people spend like, I don't know, life itself is tough enough and like annoying enough, and you have this energy to like create this whole other life online. Finds it weird. Maybe it's like that thing, that Second Life thing.
Yeah, I see. I get role playing games that have an ending, like a Final Fantasy, but I don't get the role playing games like World of Warcraft where it literally just goes on forever.
Yeah, that. So like, if you're playing like James Bond doing missions, like it just those are more just like I don't have the energy to like do those missions. But like whatever, I understand that. It's those World of Warcraft or Second Life things where you're like you create a character to just live somewhere else. Those things I'm like I look at people like you might be disturbing. Like I want to from now on I want to say only nice things are about you because you may choose to kill people in your near future and hopefully it's not going to be me.
Yeah, and the amount of time they spend on those games is unbelievable.
Yeah, there was what was that? Something about like this. They had this whole article about how like these guys would like go on these and like they like have the whole like a whole family on there.
Yeah, there's been like weddings and like the funny thing is there was World of Warcraft and one guy died in real life. So like hundreds of people all met and were walking single file like having like a funeral. But they did it in a player versus player zone, so another group of people came in and massacred all those people.
That's awesome and just ridiculous at the same time.
Yeah.
What am I doing this weekend, Jay? I am operating my Second Life character. In my Second Life character, I am a princess. I am Princess Carla, and all the people of Carleton worship me. I bet you're jealous. I'm going to spend 36 of the 48 hours this weekend doing this, Jay.
Did you ever play The Sims?
I had like a really early version of it. I played it for like 10 minutes, and then I got bored.
Same with me. I had a pretty early version, and on the back of the box, they're having like a house party, and like everyone's raging, and it's all fun. And I play the game, and I'm literally just like washing dishes and vacuuming the floor and taking out the trash, and it takes up all your time. Then it's the next day, and I'm like, when are you actually supposed to do something other than chores? Like,
so you're saying even in Second Life, your life is kind of lame?
Yeah,
I mean, I played an earliest version where you like it was not even like it was like the precursor to that where it was like you build a city.
Oh, SimCity.
Yeah, SimCity. Yeah, and I was just like, how do we destroy the city as fast as possible? And then I was like, okay, this is not even that cool to watch.
Oh, I don't know how many times I did that as a kid, where I did the unlimited money thing, made this huge city, and then just filled it up with Godzillas and fires, and yeah, that was.
It was like, what's the first thing you want to create in your city? The dinosaurs to destroy stuff.
Exactly.
You have to build the city first. That sucks. So the SimCity game, the Sims Cat game, you have to do chores.
Yeah, you're a person and you're in a house, and like, you go to work. So like, the time.
Why would you go to work? Why would you do any chores?
You don't sim the work. Like time just fast forwards like 8 hours, and then you get home.
I get you're not sitting there doing like, I can't believe in this sim game I'm doing Excel spreadsheets.
But like when you get home, it's like if you don't like wash dishes or like do stuff like that, then like your kitchen's filled with like flies. So like you have to do all these things, and then
why just let it be filled with flies? Who cares?
Well, then your friends don't want to come over, and then like you're
so go over to the house and like beat people up.
Weird alone hermit. I don't know. You just do. I don't get how you're supposed to have fun in that game.
I think the entire purpose of the game is not to have fun. I don't understand how you'd have fun in this game.
I spent the whole day like vacuuming and washing dishes, and then I get a message like your friend's mad because you didn't call him. I'm like, well, I was busy doing goddamn chores. I didn't have time to call my stupid friend. And then I uninstalled the game.
That sounds awful.
Yeah, it was terrible. But
I love the
they're
idea.
still
I love your
making
biggest-
new
I love your
versions.
biggest complaint about the game was that in the advertisement they had like people partying and like in the real game my life wasn't that cool.
Well, I mean, what you want to actually play a video game where you're just doing dishes and vacuuming?
I just think it's really funny that like you couldn't get to the partying aspect of it really too easily.
Yeah,
And that was gonna be like let's say they were like let's say you got to the point where you were like, hey Jay, we got an 8 ball of Coke and you're gonna party with all these hot ladies online, but it's not gonna be real, so who gives a crap?
Well, I guess there's no point in playing the game at all. But
I think you toured with the Stones. Really? Because I sat at my computer, so I don't think I toured with the Stones.
they're still coming out with new versions, so people are playing this.
Yeah, so if basically someone at work told you I'm gonna play The Sims for like 12 hours this weekend, wouldn't you be kind of like, wow, this guy's freaking weird?
Yeah.
So that's basically, I guess that's how she looked at you, kind of. But I feel like regular video games, fine. The Sims stuff. If any of our listeners are really big into any of these Second Life or Sims type things, could we interview you?
Yeah, or just email us. I kind of want an explanation of like what the appeal of that would be.
I would love just to hear more about like how do you get so involved in like the life on there. It'd be fascinating to interview someone that's really into it.
Yeah.
Not to like not ridicule them, but like I want to know like what you do. Well, I guess you kind of ridicule them by asking them questions about it, but I don't know.
That was a long tangent.
Would you rather have $10 million for your Sims character who parties all the time and like is the most awesome Sims character in town, or would you rather have an actual life? Yeah. So we have a top 5 this week. We have a lot
do.
of questions, actually. We never have a lot of questions.
Yeah, so let's keep the show moving because I think that was probably like a third of the show right there. Yeah, we're already...
Actually, before we go into then, I have an article I want to read to you.
Okay.
It was in the Times this week. I'm going to change some facts about this. I'm just going to change some facts about this because I think this is so weird.
Am I supposed to guess what you changed?
We'll be in November last year, a newborn baby.
That's
in
what you
North
changed, right? It wasn't November?
A newborn boy in North Korea was brought into his pediatrician's office because he was being unusually fussy after feedings, or Iran, whatever. The doctor discovered a cluster of lesions on the body and the boy's penis. Then learned that during the boy's recent circumcision ceremony, the circumciser who performed it had used his mouth to suck blood away from the incision.
Why?
Why
would that
part
ever,
of
ever happen?
North Korean ritual known as medzib blah blah or oral suction, and it requires the circumcisers. Anyhow, they're trying to pass a law that try to get the circumcisers to get the parents' consent, but it's not that easy, and now it's leading to people getting the babies getting herpes from having.
Yeah, who would have thought that would have been a problem?
So where do you think this really took place?
Alabama.
Like, so you hear like if I said like you could believe it was if I told you North Korea or like or Iran, you'd be like those freaking crazy people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is New York, and I want to say up front, I'm Jewish. This is Orthodox. This is an Orthodox Jewish thing, a super Orthodox Jewish thing of doing this. There's like a sect of Judaism where they think this makes sense.
That's insane.
Like 300 babies last year, the boy had a potential fatal herpes infection following an ancient Jewish ritual known as metzvah or oral suction.
Was that true?
Yeah. This is the administration of Mayor Bloomberg tried to regulate this practice over fierce objections of ultra-Orthodox rabbis by requiring that the circumcisers have parents' consent, sign a consent form that acknowledged that the awareness of the procedure's risks.
Can you imagine if you're not aware of that? And then the rabbi just starts doing that?
Oh my God, you'd be like, the headline would be "Father Murders Moyle."
Yeah.
The rap, whatever. Like you just run over and be like, "What the fuck are you doing to my son?
Yeah,
I'm sucking out his blood. What the fuck you mean you're sucking out his blood? It's an ancient Jewish ritual. First off, not cool. Secondly, this makes the Jews look really bad." No. Everything they say about the Jews is like, we don't control the money, we don't control the media, whatever, and blah blah. You do suck baby penises, yes, blood.
And why would you apply for this job?
Apparently you're really. Hey, Herb, do you want the last bagel? No. I don't want to kill my appetite. I'm drinking baby's blood later. This is so insane, and that's one of for people who aren't as familiar with the Jewish faith. This is the crazy. This is basically the sect of the Jews. This would be basically the same sect of like.
It's the Amish Jewish ones, right?
It's basically the same. It's like the extremists, basically, like without the actual killing sector of like Islam. It's basically like the Jew extremists.
I don't get what would make you want. Well, I guess if you're a pedophile, that would be the greatest job ever. You mean I could legally suck this baby off? Okay. Nope, still more blood. No, I think he's still bleeding.
So I saw your sir. I saw your ad in the paper. I'd like to apply. So I just want to get. Can you tell me more about the job?
Yeah. So you give a circumcision, and then you're supposed to suck the baby's blood off of his penis. So
wow, that sounds amazing. So I do this so what happens? Like I just do this in private when no one's looking?
No, the whole baby's family is there. So there's like 50 people.
So how do I have to like quickly run away when this happens, or
no? They all know and they're fine. They're cool with it.
How much do I have to pay to like do this? This sounds amazing.
They pay you.
Wait a second. I can suck off a baby's blood and I get paid for greatest job ever. Those guys at NAMBLA will be so jealous. What's Judaism? Oh my God. It does sound like the greatest job ever for like.
You would think for pedophiles there'd be a line out the door for that job. Rabbi, you've been down there for about 30 minutes. I think the blood's gone.
Can you imagine, like, where does this even come? Not like this is not in the Torah. This is not in the Bible anywhere. It's just like, you know, where we're cutting the baby's penises, which is kind of a weird act to begin with. You ever thought about just sucking the blood? I'm sorry, what? Yeah. I thought like it'd be kind of fun to suck the blood. That's really disturbing. Okay, I'll have my own sect of Judaism to do this, but
You know we invented gauze like 150 years ago, right?
Even if we like, were you using your mouth on every other part of a human's body? Like, was the standard procedure in general? Like, he's got a cut. Put your mouth on it, dude.
Does their like army? Does their triage unit just put their mouths on all the wounds of the soldiers?
Do you think like people that got like guys that got married but were in the closet used to be like, honey, I had a cut in my penis. He was a doctor.
You know, there's a whole show like that.
What?
It's
the whole show about sucking babies' penis blood?
No, that's coming next season of Fox. No, it's a show called like My Husband Is Not Gay, and it's a whole show about women in denial about their clearly gay husbands.
That's funny.
You know, the husband would be like, yeah, you know, I'm not gay, but, you know, every once in a while I just like to, you know, have a naked sauna party with all my bros.
I know someone who like basically kind of self-published a book. I just learned about this recently, and the basic book is a dating guy. It's something called like a guide to meeting Mr. Straight, and claims that all the guys she tries to date in New York City are gay, and then all the stories are like, oh, he ordered a girly cocktail, and then he broke it off with me, so he must have been gay.
Yeah, this is probably just some terrible woman who can't keep a man and decided to just call every guy gay.
That's what it pretty much sounds like.
Yeah,
sounds like, basically. But you know whose husband seems very gay? Mm-hmm. Michelle Bachmann.
Oh yeah.
You know who that is?
I know she's that crazy Republican lady who hates gay people.
I mean, obviously, there's all. Basically, if you see him, he seems flaming. Like if he was basically sucking a cock, he'd seem less gay.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I like the people that do this oral blood sucking Jew baby thing. Mm-hmm. Could you please stop or call yourself not like come up with a different religion to call yourself? This looks really bad for Judaism.
It sure does.
Yeah. So that I feel like that was a perfect article for Break of Sanity.
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely not for our Knicks podcast.
Uh,
Can you imagine some people who think, hey, Jay and Mark are pretty funny when they talk about the Knicks. Let's see what this other show is. And they just skip right to the Jew baby blood cocksucking.
So what if what if Knicks podcast, we had an advertiser and the guy and they were like, we're going to pay you $10,000 to read the ad. And the ad was like, are you a big Knicks fan? And do you also ever dream about sucking baby penis blood? Then call 1-800 Moyle blood sucking baby thing. Would you do that? Would you read that ad in the show? And you can't do like comedic or make fun of it.
I think it would be funny just to read that like with a straight voice, just to see the reaction of our listeners.
People were like, it got kind of weird on the podcast.
It was all for the trade talk, but then I just got this really bad vibe after that.
Hey, where did you find that great Moyle that sucked your baby's penis blood? Oh, I'm actually a big Knicks fan, and funny you would. So yeah, $10,000. Would you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
$100. Would you do it?
Probably.
Let's just read it on the show and just pretend it's real. So we do it.
The show's over.
Tell me it's not the best, worst thing you've heard all week.
I don't get it. The guy talked about his anxiety, and then they talked about baby penis blood, and then the show ended. I don't get what the show's about.
Could you title this episode "Sucking Baby Penis Blood"? We did a top 5, and we have questions, so we'll get to them soon. Top 5 dumbest purchases we've ever made.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be ever, but like top 5 really dumb things we purchased.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay, did you do a list also? Did I tell you about this?
You did, and I did one.
Fantastic.
In between
in no
attacks,
order.
I pumped out a list.
In no order. Purchasing a do-it-at-home baby sucking blood kit was a terrible idea.
Oddly, that was only 5th dumbest.
It's actually not my profession. It's more of a side gig. I do more of a hobby, really. I was always into sucking baby penis blood, and then I found out about I put the Vibram 5 fingers.
The hell is that?
It is these basically these running shoes you wear that have like the toe, basically your toes. It's basically
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's supposed to be almost like barefoot running, but you have a thin layer of rubber over your feet.
Yeah, my buddy Scott, he was on the podcast once. He was on my volleyball team, and he would wear those during the volleyball games, and it was funny because people on the other team would always just be staring straight down at his feet, and then you could spike the ball into their head. It was really funny.
So there was a book. They came out, but there's a book called Born to Run, which is all about
Bruce Springsteen?
Yeah, it should be. It's actually So
it's not.
No. It's about this guy. He does like the history, like it's like part of it is like him exploring these tribes in this tribe in Mexico that's really into like running and these ultra marathons, which are these 100-mile races, and basically how mankind kind of evolved based on its ability to run. It's a really actually fascinating book. And part of the book, they talk about these shoes, and gets like by the end of the book, you're like kind of want to do barefoot running, and it gets people to buy these shoes. It wasn't like actually promoting it was promoting the idea of barefoot running.
I just can't believe there's a book Born to Run that's not about Springsteen.
I know.
That's like having a book called Another Brick in the Wall and having it being like about Incan hieroglyphics.
Masonry?
Yeah.
Yeah, anyhow, but so apparently there's a class action, and now the Vibram Five Fingers people have to pay because they claim these benefits from running, and they have to basically pay every moron who bought these shoes money. At some point, I may be getting a check. I don't know. It was like $100 for this pair of shoes. It's the dumbest thing ever. First of all, when you're in New York City, you can't really you're supposed to run on like grass or dirt. If you run on like pavement, it just hurts your foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I would take them down to and you're supposed to take it really easy at first because apparently you don't use your calves the way you do on these, and your calves get really sore. So I would take them down to the gym in my building and run on a treadmill, and I just felt like a complete moron. I used them 7 times, and I haven't used them since. And one of the dumbest things I've ever purchased. And it basically just hurt my foot while running on them.
My buddy kept tweaking his ankle because there's no ankle support in those things. You
Oh,
can't
yeah,
really
I
play
can't believe you
sports
played
in those.
I can't believe you actually play like one thing to run, but anything with vertical boot, like hard, like side to side movement, like seems.
Yeah, we told him he should probably not be doing that.
I don't know why I keep hurting my ankle. I mean, like, yeah, that seems really stupid. But anyhow, it that was dumb.
Yeah. Let's see. My first one is a comic book purchase. It was
All of them,
no. This one was special because I paid $40
$40 for wow.
for one comic. Yeah. And then I looked on eBay today. It was the comic was X Factor 40, and so I looked up on eBay X Factor 40, and I saw it was on sale for $45. I'm like, all right, I don't feel as stupid about that purchase. And I looked closer, and it said issues 40 through 75.
Why did you pay $40 for this thing?
It was the first comic by this guy Rob Liefeld, who was a really famous artist at the time, and it was the first issue he ever drew. And so I was probably like 12, and I was going to the comic store, and every week it would go up like $5. I saw it at 20, and then it was 25, and it was 30. I'm like, oh my god, I got to get my hands on this, because I was also collecting, and that was the one I was missing. I probably had like 30 through 39, and then 41 through 70. So I'm like, I got to get this one comic. And then when I got older, I realized that that artist actually kind of sucks, and that the comic's now worth like $2.
Okay, I mean, I didn't even put this on my list, but you might remind me. I think I convinced my parents to let me pay like $50 or $60 for a Jose Canseco rookie card.
Yeah.
That didn't work out.
Yeah.
My next one was a remote helicopter.
Oh, that's also the other thing that people are like, you can't tell them you read comics either.
Jay's like, actually, I can't tell anyone about my life.
Yeah, pretty much.
About me. I play lots of video games, read lots of comics, and have tremendous anxiety attacks, and sometimes wear a sleep mask. Anyway, interested?
Hey, ladies.
Hey, ladies. A remote helicopter, which since
I guess you used that once because you live in the city.
Well, yeah. Well, part of it was that like I was in my 30s when I purchased this, which makes it immediately just why are you buying this? And yeah, I live in the city. It broke within like I think 20 minutes of using it.
Really?
I did actually get my money back. So this actually wasn't so bad.
Did you crash it?
I don't know. It just like stopped working. I might have crashed it. It probably was my fault, and I still got my money back. And then my wife was like, "You're gonna buy another one?" I'm like, "No, this is stupid." I get it.
Let's see. My next one. I mentioned this as the most expensive pair of pants I ever bought. It was also the stupidest. Those pants that had, normal pants cuffs are about like 8 inches. These pants cuffs were 48 inches. They looked.
I don't even know what that means. 8-inch cuffs.
Like if you took a tape measure around the bottom of your pants, like where you put your feet through, it's
wait,
probably
they're 40. Wait, what?
Yeah.
You had hammer pants?
They were beyond ridiculous. And I bought them in Boston, where you basically have to wear a suit to get into a bar, so I couldn't get in anywhere with them.
This was college?
Yeah.
I have a similar school stupid purchase. I remember when I went to school in Atlanta, I moved down there. I had this roommate who was really weird, who I just kind of met through their online like roommate board, who convinced me I needed to wear dressy black pants to go out.
You would if you lived in Boston.
What do you say? I do that. What I needed that in Boston?
Yeah. You have to wear
Really?
you don't have to wear dress pants, but you have to wear a button-down shirt and dress shoes everywhere.
But can you wear jeans?
If they're nice, they can't have any holes or rips or anything.
Well, I feel like in New York City though, you kind of need any like loungy place. You need like
That's all
you
the
need silly
douchey
dress
places,
shoes,
though.
though.
Like I could go to any place, I could go to any place like around me or like just any place without a bouncer. Really, you can wear like a t-shirt and jeans. And
yeah. But you're saying in
sneakers.
Boston you didn't have that?
No.
Boston was like a random bar.
First of all, like it's the same owners that own most of the bars, so they all had their own. They made up the whole dress code. There's a couple on the like. I guess if you go to like Cambridge or something, you can wear normal clothes, but if you go anywhere in like the main areas, you have to like wear your outfit.
Oh, it's probably worthwhile just because like the people in Boston are assholes, so it's worthwhile.
Yeah, it was fun. Dress up so you can go to a bar and hear people chant "Yankees suck" for 3 hours. At least the drinks were expensive and watered down, though.
Yeah, the dressy black pants I wore once in Atlanta, and then like quickly learned that everyone just wore jeans going out, and my roommate was probably in the closet gay guy. But I guess also it was like a certain time period where like people like started wearing black pants and became very fashionable, and then jeans kind of took over.
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably around this whatever. Next one for you.
LASIK. Because
Oh, really? That was stupid. Why was LASIK stupid?
because as I'm doing this podcast right now, I am wearing my reading glasses because 3.5 years after LASIK, my eyes have gone back to the way they were before LASIK.
Yeah, so Jace told me about this off the show. He actually was like, I was like, "How was your weekend?" And he goes, "Oh, I actually, I went to the doctor. I found I needed glasses." I was like, "Well, welcome to like everyone. Half the adult people I know have glasses or contacts. So what's the big deal?" He's like, and I was like, "Oh wait, you had LASIK recently?
Yeah, very recently.
That is fucking awful."
So bitter about this. Plus, they damaged my tear ducts and didn't tell me. So I was using those drops for like 9 months instead of like the normal 1 month. So basically, my whole first year, I just had dry eyes and eye drops. So it wasn't fun.
Wait, how did they fix your tear drop? Your tear drops?
I went to like a normal eye doctor, and he's like, "Oh, your tear ducts are damaged. Here's a prescription for something like Replenish." And I just took a pill once a day for a month, and then it repaired my tear ducts, and I never needed the eye drops ever again.
Don't you go to a normal eye doctor to get the damn procedure? Or is it like out of a food court ban?
They're I don't know. There should be normal doctors there, but after I went to their like follow up, and they said there was nothing wrong. But then, when I'm on like month 8 of using eye drops, and everyone else who got LASIK told me it's like a 1 month thing, I was like, I need to go to like a different eye doctor.
I feel like your torturous existence with with everything really, but with LASIK, maybe like I would love to get LASIK, but after hearing about your experience, and now that you need reading glasses 3.5 years later, it seems kind of pointless.
My buddy got it the beginning of last year, and it's the same thing. He used drops for like 2.5 weeks, and he's totally fine. I mean, we'll see if he needs glasses in like 2 years, but he had like the best experience.
LASIK. Do you want to spend a bunch of money to have perfect vision temporarily? Tell me more. Do you want to not pay for contacts anymore or glasses for a couple of weeks? What?
So for only like $2,500.
That sucks. That actually beats anything else on this list. The
At
only
least
other thing I had on the list was
At least I threw out all my other glasses, because I didn't think I'd ever need them again.
I recently switched from for contacts wise. I had the 2-week ones, and I switched to the dailies. And I have to say the dailies, I'd read online people saying like, oh, they're good, but like they kind of dry up by the end of the day because they're kind of crappy. They're just shittier.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, I bought a smaller supply. I was like, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't buy the whole year on this. I bought like a 3-month supply, and basically I'm going back to I just ordered 2-week ones again because the daily ones are so shitty.
Really, that bad?
By the end of the day, you're like, it kind of hurts. I know why they're dailies because they don't last a day.
Mm.
Versus the 2-week ones, just like your eyes feel normal by the end of the day.
Gotcha.
And my last one of this was a snow cone maker. Again, an adult purchase in the last few years.
Yeah, all those things seem like a good idea, and then you realize how much work it is, and then you have to clean it up, and like.
Basically, every year I make one completely idiotic purchase, and my wife's like, "Really, this is what you're spending your money on?" Yeah. No, she's like, I want to buy something. She's like, "You don't buy anything for yourself, really, and this is what you buy, like the dumbest possible thing possible." Like, yeah, pretty much, yeah. I have like a series of just idiotic purchases in my house. That's why I thought of the list in the first place. By the way, so a coworker said to me, she was like, talking about what she was going to get her dad for his birthday, and she goes, "I'm getting him a drone." I was like, "Excuse me, what?" And she's like, "Yeah, you get him a drone." I'm like, "How much is a drone?" She's like, "It's like $100. You can get like a drone that takes like pictures and stuff." And I look on Amazon, and there's a whole thing of like drones you can buy, personal drone. What doesn't that sound just a kind of a? I'm not to be 1984 scary, but you can buy a personal drone, even one that just takes pictures. Starts to get kind of scary.
There's this guy who I don't know how he's friends with me on Facebook because I have no idea who he is, but he posts cool stuff, and he bought a drone, and he posted a video of it going up like hundreds of feet and like taking videos of all this stuff. It was really cool, but kind of scary that you could just buy that.
It's just kind of weird because it's like this is like the beginning stage of the whole drone purchases. Basically, eventually, everything you're going to do is just going to be filmed by like random people. You're like, oh, drone of bad. What are you going to do? Everyone just looks at everything you do. What are you going to do?
You're going to look outside. There's going to be a drone just hovering outside your window.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be creepy.
Yeah, and like neighbors are like, and it'll go past video. People will be like just like pranking each other, dropping like, I don't know, like you're like, oh, I got sprayed with water. Oh, I didn't see your drone above me.
Are you done with your list?
What? That wasn't on my list. I didn't buy a drone, but my list is over. Do you have anything else on your list?
Yeah, I have 2 more. I don't know.
Oh,
You went through 5
okay.
already.
I can't count. What was yours?
I bought a TV, and then the guy at PC Richards is like, oh, you need this special surge protector box. And it was like over $200. And I'm like, I don't really need this box. He's like, no. Like, if normal surge protectors won't protect it, and if it damages the TV and you don't use this, then, you're not, it's not going to be covered by the warranty, blah, blah, blah. And so I bought it, and then I thought about it, and I'm like, this really, like, seems like a stupid purchase. And I went back, and the guy's a different guy was there. And he's like, no, you need this for your TV. It's, like, really important. So I hooked it up to the TV, and like a year later, my cable box just started resetting on its own. And so I unplugged this stupid surge protector thing and put in a normal, strip.
Yeah.
And my cable box has never restarted on its own ever again.
Did you think basically, hey, this surge protector thing he's telling you about, that you're right. I mean, if a big surge comes over, it'll screw my TV up. That'd be terrible. But wait, I've been alive now for 30 plus years, and I've never seen a big surge destroy anything in my household, and I don't know anyone who's ever had this issue.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I first brought it back, and then the guy was so adamant about it. I'm like, maybe he knows something I don't, and he probably knew that he made commission.
Right. I used to I worked there for a short time at Foot Locker, and you were just told to add on dumb things that people purchases, like these inserts for like cushion insoles with this sneaker cleaner, and everything was supposed to be better if you like added something on, so you'd encourage the dumbest things for people to buy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, well, couldn't I just take soap and just like clean the sneaker if I want to? Yeah, but this is like a spray foam stuff that's it's made by a sneaker company. They know better. They make sneakers. I mean,
would I lie to you for commission?
Have you spent your whole life walking around on normal sneakers? If I put a pad in there, it like you'll suddenly feel like you're a king.
It's more sneakery.
Yeah, your feet will feel amazing. Like, let me ask you, do you walk in these sneakers? Wouldn't you like your walking experience to feel better? That does remind me actually of the dumbest thing. Actually, probably the dumbest thing I've ever. And this is my wife and I both did this together. When we were first moving in together, we went to buy furniture together, and so I've made so many dumb purchases in my life. And yeah, we bought a couch and like a chair, whatever combination thing. And they're like, oh, do you want to buy our 5-year warranty for the couch? And I'm like, it's a couch. Why would I need a warranty? And I think we paid $100-something for this warranty for the couch that we were convinced to buy. And it was they were like, if something happens to your couch, we'll replace it. I'm like, what the fuck's going to happen to the couch? I'm going to feel like not a complete moron making this phone call.
9 months later, the couch just explodes.
Like, am I going to call them? I spilled wine in my couch. I know it's been 4 years and 30 days and 6 months. Can I get a new couch? Which is kind of we always joked about doing. Then it just expired, and we were like, that we might as well just lit the money on fire.
Yeah, my thing. I was thinking next time I buy something and there's a really long, warranty like that, I'm just going to destroy the product like the day before the warranty is up. Just
Yeah, you might as well just make the claim. Whatever. See what they say.
Yeah.
We still have the couch though. It's whatever.
The thing is, a lot of times the warranty is so specific that you wouldn't get the refund anyway. Like I bought a mattress and I was looking at the fine print, and it's like, if the mattress sags, then you could get a refund. what they do is they bring over a guy who has some measuring thing, and the mattress has to sink 1.5 inches for them to replace it. Do you know how sunken a mattress has to be for it to sink 1.5 inches?
This probably also says, please do not place 100-pound per human being on the mattress at any time.
Yeah, exactly. There's probably a weight limit of like 85 pounds for this king size bed that I bought.
Yeah, I feel like for the most part, warranties, maybe outside of a car, you maybe never would need this. You never even want to bother with the warranty. You're
Yeah.
never going to use it.
Yeah, they're all just.
I guess electronics in general, but everything else.
Yeah, they're all pretty much like, hey, you want to give us an extra $100 because we feel like having an extra $100?
You're like, you know what? I mean, I'm a moron. Here's my money. Sure. if you say it's right, why not? Yeah, I never know what's going to happen to my couch. Who knows? It might just burst into flames. Before we go to the questions, I know the show's running late anyhow.
I'm not even
but
done with my list.
do you have another one for your list?
I only did 5.
What the hell's your list? God, go on.
I
Jay.
only had 5.
I want to think. I mean, like, I have to just tell my entire top 5 list. Mark's done talking. Maybe we should move on.
What did you go through all 5 years at once? Like, how did we finish your list?
I don't know.
I could have sworn we were going back and forth. Are you sure your list doesn't have 2 things on it?
I don't know.
I'm gonna go
on.
back and listen. I swear you did.
You'll never go back and listen. You're full of shit.
I know. I should edit it and make it nice to listen to, but I'm lazy. My last one. The show is an hour already. Well, okay.
We have a bunch of questions on Facebook.
My last one is Brink of Sanity shirts. Well, I mean, not that it would have been a dumb purchase now, but I bought like 40 shirts when we had about 50 listeners. Like, I don't know why I was thinking.
Now that we're up to 60, you're pretty.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking like, hey, everyone's who listens, literally every single person who listens is going to want a shirt. Although 5 years later, 1 out of the 3 designs we have just sold out. So we're
How many
there.
Brigger shirts do you have left? Now you're offering them for like $5 add-on to the Nick shirts.
There's only 6 left.
Wow, that's
Yep.
pretty good.
Yep, not bad. It only took 5 years.
That's really funny. Before we go there, I have one quick rant I want to do.
Okay.
And whatever. Whatever. You know what's really annoys the crap out of me?
What?
When you're at the supermarket and they ring the wrong price. Basically, it says 2 for $8, and they're like $4, and then they ring up at $4.76, and I'm like, well, the sign said 2 for $8, and they're like, okay, we'll go check, which is fine. They're not like you're wrong. But then you have to stand there while the person goes checks, and you hold up the whole line, and people in the back of you are like, hey, asshole, just pay the 76 cents. I'm like, well, I went and bought the damn thing. They're like, why do you even need 5 or 1 bars? Yeah, I wanted them, okay? They look good. Just leave me alone. And you feel like it's just a total asshole, basically. And you're like, wait. I feel like this happens to me a lot, actually. A bunch of times I'm like, just because I read goddamn signs in the supermarket and I buy things I think are on sale because they're good deals, I get fucked because the supermarket doesn't, like, just pay attention to their own sales.
Right, exactly.
I had one, I was buying baby food, and then I was at Whole Foods, and it was like the little jars, and they were like, I think it was like on sale for 75 cents a jar, something like that. And there's like literally like just 30 signs there. Like each like little bin had a sign saying 79 cents or whatever. And I'm like, so I go to them, and they're like, they ring up at $1 for 36. And I'm like, hey, this is double the price actually. They're like, well, you know, there are lots of different flavors. Maybe you got one of the flavors that's not on sale. I'm like, hey, there's 30 fucking signs over there. I don't think there's a flavor that's not on sale, actually. And the guy's like, oh. And then they bring over someone else who's like, sir, I think you read the sign wrong. I'm like, come with me. I'll show you the fucking signs. And then then they do, and they check it. They're like, oh, yeah, I guess maybe this is on sale. And they're like, okay, we'll give it to you at the sale price. What do you mean give to me? You fucking offered it.
I know they make it like they did you a favor for like doing what they said they would do.
Yeah, I'm like, what the fuck? And I held the damn line, and like everyone hates me now because you're an asshole. You can't just keep your fucking store.
They're like looking at you like they're expecting thanks.
Yeah, that's the best part. Like,
For
we'll give it
honoring
to you.
their clearly labeled sign.
You're like, yeah, well, I had one the other day. Like, this happens to me a lot. And they're like, oh, well, the sale ended yesterday. Oh, well, maybe you should have taken the signs down yesterday then.
Yeah, exactly.
There was no date on it, asshole. I'm supposed to read your company manual and figure out what's actually not on sale anymore. That's pissed me off.
Sorry about that.
Sure. Just in my real rant, just have the thing malfunction.
Oof. Where everything's exploding. Okay, we're good. Everything's
Okay.
under control.
And by the way, the X-Files might come back.
Oh, good. Can't wait. I guess that means Californication got so shitty it got pulled off the air.
Maybe I think they just combine it. Like, they're like, hey, what was her name in the show? It was like a Gillian. What were the characters?
I don't even know anymore.
Hey, Gillian Anderson. I think I saw an extra, and I fucked your sister. Like, that'd be a good combo.
And I'm drunk.
Fuck. Oh, and I'm not a good dad for my only daughter, who I think was abducted by aliens also.
And hanging out with Marilyn Manson for some reason.
Yeah.
It would be fun though if it was X-Files, but they had to bring around Charlie Runkle.
They replaced it was Mulder and Scully. They replaced Scully with Charlie Runkle.
That I would watch.
That would be the fucking greatest thing. Did you see it? We proved the conspiracy. Oh, I was jacking off. I wasn't even paying any attention. Sorry.
I can't get over Morrissey.
That would be the fucking greatest thing ever. They could make these shows so much better.
Yeah. They should let us write every show.
At least or just take our ideas. We could actually do the writing, but we just take our ideas and have to run with it.
Yeah. Yeah, we should be consultants on most shows. Dexter
Okay.
comes in and murders half the cast of every single show.
We have the most questions we've ever had on Facebook for this show.
And they're from two people.
William writes, really twice in a row? Is this to announce Jay's death due to imaginary choking? LOL.
Hilarious.
That's what I expect from our listeners. They have to make fun of your condition. William writes, well, all these things don't necessarily go in order. Should I go quick from the top? Oh, I hate that way. Okay. Besides obvious reasons, I don't have none, but people always find it offensive when you say it. Why did... I don't know what... He wrote like 12 questions. And should I just stop my... I'll start on the top. The bottom, whatever. Okay, William... They put him out of order. So why can't they just put him in chronological order on Facebook?
Facebook puts everything in the order they think you should read it in.
Okay. So William writes, what is Mark's job? We know Jay works with something job screening. What does Mark do? Besides Brink of Sanity mascot and Toby from The Office look alike, LOL. First of all, why did not that we have to say what you do or where you work, Jay, but what is something job screening?
Well, I write the documentations for everything that people.
Oh
people
yeah.
do.
I do something recruiting / sales related. Not that interesting.
Which I found out about like 3 months ago.
You're like, you do that? Yeah, I can probably help you with your job. Not like actually get your job. I can help you with some of the stuff. And then I never helped them. Besides obvious reasons, don't have none, but people always find it offensive when you say it. Why did Mark stop his Daddyhood blog? Oh, I just...
Yeah, that's a question for you. You pause
really?
like I'm
No
going to
way.
answer that.
So if you don't know, I have this blog called newdaddyhood.com, which I wrote for the first 2 years of my son's life. Why did I stop it? It took a lot of time, and I feel like I just wanted to capture like the first 2 years of his life. Actually, I originally only want to do the first year. Then I enjoyed it, so I kept it going for the second year. But also at this point, I pretty much have no time with 2 kids to possibly do this.
I'm assuming like things are changing so quick the first 2 years too. Like it's probably a little more dated, like same thing every day once you get to like 2 to 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of funny things, but at some point also you just don't like.
But I mean, the kid went from like just a pile of nothing to like learning to talk and walk, and like there was a lot of progression. Once he's walking and talking, there's not much progression in that third year. You know what I mean?
Right. Not as many things happen. I totally agree with that. Also, once you have the second kid, well, first it's great because I'm like, my son, I have the first 2 years a blog, then my daughter, we have some pictures of you, and I try to remember some stuff. I don't know. Just stop complaining. You're second rate. You're second. Give it up. But I also would be most of the blog posts if I did it for my daughter would be she did something today, and this is what my son did. because he's kind of the star of the show still.
Right.
She kind of is just like in the background, just like basically because he's just like takes up more of your energy because he has more energy running around and driving you crazy. But that's basically, I kind of wanted to just capture the first like 2 years, and probably should do it done with my daughter. I'm sure she'll be offended at some point.
Oh yeah, very. Especially if she listens to this episode and you clearly said you like your son better.
It's a weird like I actually so before I had like if you have kids, you probably had a similar like mindset before you had the second kid. You were like, I love my first kid so much. This baby's coming. I can't even possibly imagine I'd love my second kid as much as I love my first kid. Like I couldn't. How am I gonna really get into the second kid? I know it sounds weird. You're like, come on. I mean, like I'm gonna get into the sequel. But then you end up not obviously, but like you end up like loving the second one just as much, and it's like I guess like happy memories, like happy ending there. But it's just a weird like they just both have like different, and like you're really into both of them. I like my kids.
Kind of saved yourself a little bit.
Yeah. So if she's listening at some point in the future, of course she won't be, because what are the chances she give a shit about her dad damn podcast? Honey, I didn't do a blog about you, but I once mentioned you on a podcast I did.
I even got your name right.
Yeah. Oh, Daddy, great. You're a goddamn loser. It's wonderful. William also writes, am I a bad guy for thinking this? I also thought would have been... We were doing the podcast at this point. At some point, I was like, oh, should I do a baby podcast also? And that would have been really overkill. Though I was thinking more about that when I about that. I was like, could I have done it like when like done the baby voice also and have myself just have it argue with the kid, where I was like, hey son, I know like you kind of like did like you were pooping and you got your poop like ran up out the diaper, got everywhere. It was kind of disgusting. Hey, Dad, you leave me. You're supposed to change my diapers. You're supposed to take care. You do your own crap, dude. If my poop gets out of my diaper, that's what it's supposed to do. I have to feed the diaper. Your job to figure the stuff out. Hey, you know, I wish you would kind of sleep later so we get more sleep. Hey, Dad, you know, I'm not quite as, you know, I've been alive for what, like 3 months? You've been alive for like 8 trillion months? I'm not as bitter about the world. I give a shit about the world. I want to be awake and see the world. Stop being so old and like the world sucks. You try to sleep your life away.
That'd be pretty funny, actually.
Son, I wish I'm trying to get you to pick up your food and eat it yourself. You're old enough now. I don't want to just keep feeding you baby food. Hey, Dad, listen to me. You're gonna fucking do your goddamn job. Do I have to change my own diapers also? Feed me, change me, get with the program.
I do like the idea of your son cursing profusely.
If anyone likes that, we'll do a segment each week about that. Yeah, I was thinking about it today when I read that. I read the question earlier, and I was just like, oh, that'd be kind of funny to have done a podcast about it. Where my son's just a vulgar asshole to me. Hey, son, you know, I've noticed like you can kind of stand up and hold on to stuff. And why don't you try taking a step and try walking? Yeah, Dad, you know what? Yeah, just for someone that like walked their whole life, it sounds like a fucking easy thing. In my first fucking year, I mastered goddamn walking, rolling over, and all this other shit. Leave me alone. I'll get to it when I will. Okay? Stop pressuring me. You're gonna be a quick dad when it comes to the SATs, right, asshole?
Nice.
William writes, am I a bad guy for thinking of this? Maybe this is from the fucking...
How many questions are you going to stop in the middle of?
Because I feel like I'm reading them out of order to an annoying... Okay. William writes, Mark J., what would you do in this situation? In my situation. I mean, I am, supervisor in my company, and I am in charge of promoting people. And I have had a woman come up to me insinuating... I can't pronounce that. I'm a moron. I listened to the podcast of my daddy, and he did mention to me, he kind of said some nice things about me, and I learned he was also illiterate.
Yet he's the one who reads the questions.
There's two of us. We've chosen the one who can't read the questions. Because it's more amusing this way. I'm in charge insinuating a special favor in exchange for me to assist them in being promoted. I always said no, but I won't lie, Mark J. I am a man, and I have needs. I see a sexy girl with a nice ass, and I like it. I want to. I want it. Does anyone use like an actual period? I want it. I want it. Let's not be Hippocrates. I think it meant the hypocrites.
That's how you spell hypocrites.
Is that correctly?
I don't know. I'm not looking at the question right now, but I know it's Crates.
Oh, okay. Hypocrites. I'm a moron. And I say
Hippocrates.
I know. I knew. I just thought it was spelled wrong.
It might be. I don't know.
And say we don't just cause Jay is married, and I don't think he does not see his wife friends and say, "Wow, I wouldn't bang her." Help! What should I do if guys were to be a position of power where an attractive lady needs something and you really wanted her sexually? What would you do?
Okay, I just looked. The first half of the word spelled incorrectly, but the second half is correct. You just couldn't read it.
Well, no, I couldn't. I thought it was just spelled wrong, basically. I was going to pronounce it how he spelled it instead of the real pronunciation. But whatever, who gives a shit? So basically, would you use... I'm just curious, William, if you could write back to us. In your position of power, do you have like a high position in a company where like... Or are you... I guess is it like is it a big deal? I mean, I'm assuming it's not like, hi William, I want to be off the fryer and I'm at the counter. I don't know, Janine. I'll blow you. That wasn't even insinuating. Oh, I'll do something funny to your penis.
With my mouth.
So what, Jay? Would you abuse your power to sexually harass or take advantage of a woman that was offering that? Say,
not worth getting fired over.
What if your company said, Jay, your supervisor said, Jay, sometimes the girls want to get promoted and they offer to like do stuff for you, totally in line with company policy. We don't give a shit here at Sexual Harassment Inc.
This is reminding me of that Mr. Show skit. Where the guy's getting into law school, and he's like, "Yeah, you have the highest grades, first in your class. You come from got a good degree. So, what we want from you is a blowjob."
I was drinking water and I choked on the water.
I'll show you that skit next time you come over. It's a really good one.
That's really funny.
It goes on and on.
So I'd say I would not abuse the power of the position because I feel like it's gonna end poorly.
Yeah, you just, then you got she could blackmail you like the rest of your life.
Okay, but what if it really was you were like the manager of McDonald's and she wanted to go from fry cook to cashier. She was super hot and you were single and you were 20.
Sure.
Yeah, fuck yeah. William also writes, am I a bad guy for thinking this? Okay, a friend, more of a person I went to college with. Why do you have to even correct this? A friend, more of a person I went to college with, texted me the other day and asked me if she can borrow some money, about $500. My immediate reaction was, no, we ain't that cool, and you asking me for $500 at the same time. She is very attractive. I feel like telling her I'll give her the money if she does sexual favors for me. I have to think William's joking about all this stuff. She is 24, no kids, Latina Dominican, and looks identical in body and face to Zoe Saldana, just like her. Should I ask her? I feel guilty for it and bad at the same time. Let's not BS each other. I'm a man with needs, and she is a very beautiful, but I don't want to feel like I'm taking advantage of somebody.
Couldn't you get a really good blowjob for less than $500? Because you're not getting that money back. So couldn't you get like a really good blowjob for much less? I don't know what the going rate is, but I feel like it's less.
I'm pretty sure if you ask for sexual favors, it's no longer a loan; it's prostitution.
Right.
And secondly, sure, see if she's a working girl. Yeah, totally. Yeah, and I don't even know who Zoe Saldana is.
I don't think I do either.
But we're gonna find out.
All right. You want me to read the next question? Because you can't do two things at once.
Okay. Rosario writes, and this is like 6 questions in a row also. Would you rather have a hot dog with ketchup or a hot dog with mustard? P.S. No, Jay did not write this. LOL.
Mustard. And the Beastie Boys...
That's definitely not mustard spelled right.
Beastie Boys would agree.
Why?
It's a line in one of their songs, just like a hot dog with no mustard. It's off their first album.
Oh,
You didn't memorize every lyric of every Beastie Boys song ever? Come on.
I haven't, but I have ambition in life, and I will do that. I'll take the ketchup, but I do like mustard, but I like ketchup better. Rosario writes, and will, guys, does Tinder app really work? I have some friends who used it, and some say, yeah, they got laid, but might just be full of excrement, and others tell me no, it's all prostitutes and gay guys. Have you guys used it or know any reliable source who has?
Yeah, we both got into long-term relationships before
Technology.
Tinder came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I used older sites, but those aren't really good anymore. I got a lot of dates off of Lava Life, but I know friends who have used it and they say it's fine. I feel like every couple of years, like a new site takes over as like the one that everyone uses.
I feel like at some point it'll be like, like Google Glass. It'll be Google Glass. You'll wear it, and like there'll be a dating site where like you're just looking in a room and someone matches up to you, and like you'll just see that person and like, oh, I can see someone who said they want to meet me. It'll be like that, like that simple.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking around, and you're like, no. Oh, she's colored. She is green. She's colored green. That means she wants to blow me tonight. She's already agreed. And Rosaire writes, and would you rather? And I don't know anyone who's used it extensively. I don't know. It sounds interesting.
Since
Rosaire
I'm in
writes,
class, it's kind of funny because, when I went to undergrad, cell phones were just coming out. Plus, it was kind of rude to use your cell phone during class. Apparently, people don't care anymore. And so I see people in my class like on Tinder right in the middle of class.
That's awesome. It'd be great if they were just doing it for people in the class.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's you do it by location, right? So it's like distance from you.
Yeah.
So can you do 100 feet? Or is that like too...
I mean, there is apps like that. I don't know what the straight one is. My gay friend has Grindr, and you could literally like know if somebody's.
I thought
like,
Tinder was
in
the
that building.
straight version of it.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And I think that I was told there's another one called Thrinder or Threeder or whatever, where it's people around you that want to have threesomes.
Huh. Yeah.
And I guess like you see a couple on there instead of like individuals.
But I mean, if they're at a bar like 2 blocks from me, you could tell that. It's kind of weird.
Oh. Rosario writes, and would you rather be a writer for the Brink of Sanity blog or a writer for NewDaddyhood.com blog? You have to pick one, guys.
Well, for me, obviously, Brink of Sanity would be creepy if I wrote about your son.
What if you just started a blog about my son? Like, what if New Daddy was just you, and you were just like, oh, well, you told me about that, and so I put in my blog, Mark, about your kid.
All the pictures are from like across the park with you playing with your son. So I'm just like behind a tree snapping pictures.
You're like, I'm not a pedophile. I just think your son's cute. That's all.
Zach looked like he had fun today. There's Mark. Can't wait to tell him about this on the podcast tonight.
It would be really the fun. That would be in the top 10 creepiest things you could possibly do is start a blog about someone else's kid.
Yeah. Especially if I didn't
think of
tell
too
you
many-
and you just found it like one day and I had like 100 entries.
I can't think of too many things you could do where like it didn't break any laws and you weren't like were you just being creepy. Like, could you do much creepier things? Like if you started a blog about someone's wife, it'd be less creepier than about their baby.
Yeah, that's pretty much the creepiest. Yeah, I wrote drafts of like we were doing 1001 rants on the Brink of Sanity site. I wrote drafts for like 8 of them, and I haven't finished any of them.
Oh, I think we did 1001 rants. I think we published 8.
No, we published
Total.
like 30.
Oh, that's pretty good. And then we just stopped doing it.
It's text-based rants. If people want to write some rants in, if they're decent, we'll post them.
If they're not decent, we might post them anyhow.
The Brink of Sanity at gmail.com.
Since I haven't, I had written some rants, but I haven't posted anything to the Brink of Sanity blog in about the same amount of time since I last wrote for New Daddyhood. I'll probably go with New Daddyhood here. Rosario also writes, "Oh, and Bry's girlfriend is as real as the Knicks getting LeBron in 2015 free agency. Laugh my ass off. You don't have to, or LMAO. You don't have to have CSI or detective skills to figure that out. LOL. Just kidding. Or not." And Rosario writes, and will Dame LOL. Then again, I have had a situation where my friend told me about a will.
I think
Is he trying to say damn?
I think he was writing well, damn, and sometimes autocorrect spell like messes your stuff up.
Okay, and well, damn, LOL. Then again, I've had a situation where my friend told me about her boss wanting something in return for her career advancement. Let's keep it at that, Mark. And Jay, in corporate America, the arts and acting, this does occur, and then again, morally, it's bad. But I guess you just asking and not forcing someone to do it, is it still bad? I do know someone who worked at a major company who one day just like resigned, and I was like, okay. I was like, she said she didn't want to do it anymore. And then someone else was like, hey, they're like, oh, did she leave because of that guy harassing her? And I was like, what? She never told me that. And what it basically, and I found out more, was basically the company basically paid her a large settlement to not sue them because of how bad like one of the partners there were to her.
Wow.
And I was like, I kind of really want to know more, but she wouldn't tell me more. But I was like, wow, I guess this stuff does really happen.
Interesting.
It wasn't that interesting to Jay, who just yawned. We're almost done with the questions. And Gilliam writes, who is the Josh Smith of your lives?
For those listeners who are not basketball fans, Josh Smith is a guy who every time he gets traded away from a team, that team seems so much happier and they get much, much, much better.
So who's been traded away from your life, Jay?
Let's see. Old co-host Leon.
Ooh, going personal. Why?
Why? Because he started fights all the time and couldn't control his drinking, and there was just drama every time we hung out. And now I don't have to worry, am I going to be in the middle of a brawl when we go out tonight?
That is a good answer.
Mm-hmm.
Just in case, I doubt anyone.
I almost got into a fist fight in the middle of a podcast in my room.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's what happened.
We had some other guy on, Drunk Tommy, and for some reason Tommy just started saying how his brother's kid died, and I don't think it actually happened, and Leon called him out on it, and then they started like swinging at each other. It was really weird. It was very, very, very weird. If anybody wants to hear it, it was episode 145. It was very strange.
I almost want to hear that. I'm not going to go back and listen, but that's fucking weird.
It was very weird.
He is the Josh Smith. Your life got better.
Yeah.
I don't have a really great answer. I have one answer, but whatever. I'm not gonna say anything. Sean writes, weird modern cartoon.
You don't want them to hear it, or
I just I don't
give like a vague description. You don't have to call their name out like I
I'm not gonna give a vague description. But I feel like I don't want you don't give a crap if he listens to the show and finds out. And I doubt the other person would. But I don't feel like I want to mention it. Okay. I don't know. Whatever. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna insult someone on the show.
You don't want to give an example of what they did?
I think I want to move on here.
Wow, this is the first time Mark's been uncomfortable. Do you want me to grill you about it for the next 10 minutes?
Yeah. Put me on next slide. Yeah. Let's pretend.
Let's reverse roles, and I'll just harass you about it for the rest of the show.
It was based. I'm not gonna go with it.
Was it a coworker? Was it a family member?
Okay. It's my dad. Sean writes, weird modern. This is from the other list from the Knicks show. I posted it there. Sean writes, weird modern cartoons compared to our retro cartoons.
What was that?
It's his topic. Weird modern cartoons compared to our retro cartoons. Like, I guess Scooby-Doo compared to the newer cartoons.
Oh, yeah. I feel like a lot of the new cartoons are terrible. No, the old ones like Scooby-Doo are terrible. The modern ones are just like insane.
Like what?
I like if you turn on like one of those cartoon channels like Boom or something.
Yeah.
There's just the weirdest shit on there. At least Scooby-Doo, like you kind of got the basic plot of what's going on. They're trying to solve a caper. Like, the stuff on now, I'm like, I don't even know what's happening.
My son watches really. I mean, he's 3.5, so he watches really early, like young kid ones.
It's the
so
ones where they like talk to the screen and then pause, and it's really awkward.
See, I don't see it. Like, he watches like Curious George. He watches this one called Paw Patrol. What the only thing weird about it is they like before the show, each time it airs, they talk about how Paw Patrol teaches your kid to be an upstanding member of his community and teaches social skills. And I'm like, it teaches nothing. It just keeps him busy for a half hour so I can do something else. That's what it does.
Yeah.
I'm like, really, it makes him a better member of the community to watch like some dogs fight. They don't fight crime. They just kind of help people.
Oh my god! I went over to my buddy's place who has a kid, and they only have one bedroom, so the kid's room is basically the living room. So I had to, when I go over, I just have to watch whatever the kid's watching.
Yeah.
So Curious George was on it. They talk so slow in that show.
But yeah, like that's what they like. They like things that are so simple. And there's a monkey. And I was talking to another parent who was like, I don't like Curious George because Curious George, no matter what he does, it's consequence free. And I was like, oh, so you'd prefer like Curious George, like he does something wrong and like gets sent to jail, or like or someone dies in the show? What consequences do you want?
Or like he crosses the street without looking both ways, and he breaks his leg, and the next like 3 episodes he's like on crutches.
Yeah, like he actually knocks something over in a store, and then someone gets like loses their job, and like their family's out in the street, and Curious George has to visit them and like feed them at the homeless shelter. Like, is that what you want in the show? I'd actually rather it be a happy ending every time because it's my 3-year-old watching it.
This show about a guy who has a monkey with no consequences is unrealistic.
The show where one of the characters is called the Man with the Yellow Hat. It doesn't relate enough to me. I'm like, he's got a lot of life to realize life sucks. So let's keep it like not so sucky for the first couple of years. I'm a Dog writes, this is inspired by Saw. What would you cut yourself? What would you cut yourself? What would you cut off yourself to survive? Would you cut somebody else to survive? What would you
cut off of somebody else to survive?
Yeah, I'm just trying to read it. Yeah, so what would you... So basically, you're in a Saw type situation, which, for those who don't know, basically this guy was in a situation where he had to cut off his own leg he felt to survive. And you could then, basically in the show, like in the movie, like... It was life or death.
Have you watched all the Saw movies?
No. How the hell you watched all of them?
I watched all 7 of them. I was thinking as I'm watching them, like, yeah, I would die during this one. I would die during that one. Like, I don't do well with pain. I would die in almost every single one of those things. I
always just, like, I've watched some, and they're kind of interesting. They're not terrible. As far as horror movies, I think they're, like, less terrible than, like, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. Oh, as far as horror movies.
I can't believe you just said that.
Or maybe, okay, better. They're less terrible than the Jason movies.
Okay.
I guess the better. They're as far as order, the Nightmare on Elm Street probably was the best ones, and then came I guess then comes Jason, then comes like Chucky, and then comes the Halloween movies.
I would put Jason like almost at the bottom. Those, if you watch those again, it's like they're really bad.
All the other ones are really bad. The Chucky one's pretty bad. The Halloween ones are pretty terrible.
Yeah, Halloween's are bad too.
Yeah, I mean the more recent remakes of Halloween aren't as bad, but the Nightmare on Elm Street ones were kind of bad also.
Evil Dead trilogy.
I wasn't really including that, but that's not bad.
Or that's awesome.
Or that's awesome. Yes. What the hell were we talking about?
What would you cut off of yourself or other people?
Oh, you know what I was going to say about Saw is that the whole time I always think about like this guy, like built. When did he had all this money to like build all this stuff? It's just like, and he drags this guy, and I'm like, just the practicality of this actually is being set up. And
Saw is not realistic enough for me.
I know, but I prefer if it's not going to be realistic, just like go over. Like they make it so realistic. Like they're like, he builds all this, and like it's that part. So it's supposed to be realistic going forward. I'd rather him just go like he's a sorcerer and creates this. Stop pretending this is even like.
How do you know he wasn't?
Possible.
He just didn't want to brag about it.
Well, I'd prefer that. I prefer if you're gonna pretend it's reality based, like make it reality based. If you're gonna pretend it's just like not even remotely realistic, then just like pretend it's like, oh, when he had magical powers and he went blah, and you're in a situation where your head will be blown off. Can you imagine going to the hardware store? So I want to make something I could put on someone's head that would blow up if they don't unlock it within a minute. I'm
What
sorry,
aisle is
sir.
that in?
Yeah, no, I want to be able to rip I want I want to put it between their mouth and their skull is going to be ripped off within a minute. Yeah, no, just I need kind of lever that'll rip their skull off.
Hypothetically, if he doesn't unlock it.
Yeah, yeah. Screw you guys. I'm going to Home Depot. I just think the whole behind the. I wish they would just do a whole document, like a whole mock documentary of the guy like describing how he sets all this stuff up.
That would be an awesome prequel.
It would be amazing. Like him just
going
like
to all these hardware stores and freaking
This-
people out.
what is he, an 80-year-old guy with cancer? Him dragging like a 300-pound guy and just like the body is like, oh, holy fucking A. I can't believe how heavy this guy is that like who's a bad person, so I'm gonna set him up. Because they don't even pretend he has like henchmen, right?
He does.
But does he really? Isn't like he has one or two? He doesn't have like. It's not like in the Batman show where like the Joker has like 30 henchmen or just do whatever he wants.
I don't
Like,
want to spoil the series for you, but he's got some
You,
helpers.
you know what? They spoiled the series by making it for me. So what does he have? He like gets everyone like. I think it's what he does is he gets them in a situation where they feel like they have to do it also because they're threatened, right?
Some of them just go crazy and actually like it and take over.
Okay.
Because I think that guy dies on like the third one or the second one.
He dies at some point, and then they do then they do another one that happens right before he dies. Isn't one like there's like a prequel kind of mid?
Something like that, yeah. Yeah, I think he dies in the second one and then the third one.
Did you see all these shows and you don't even know?
It got so crazy, ridiculous, hard to follow by like in the fifth movie, the two main actors looked exactly the same. And one's a good guy and one's a bad guy. And so I'm like, why that guy just kill him? I'm like, oh wait, that's not the cop. Like, I don't know how casting decided to get two guys who looked exactly the same, but it was a terrible move.
I bet when I look these characters up, they're like two really different looking black people, and Jay's just racist.
No, they're both white.
Okay. All I know about the show, like all the movie is really is just like you just seeing whatever thing they set up and like going like, how would I possibly not die in this?
Yeah.
But like the actual movie, what else is happening in the movie is so not interesting.
If you look up Saw 5, the second and third guy, like, when they're both like clean shaven, they look exactly the same.
Wouldn't it be great if they just actually had the same actor playing both of them?
I swore they did for a while. It was so weird. I was like, I can't tell these two people apart.
Are they even done with that? Are they still releasing one every Halloween?
No, they're done. There was 7 of them.
Oh. So what would you cut off? I'll cut off my pinky to save my life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I would do pinky finger or pinky toe. Anything beyond that, like, I think I'm too big of a wuss and I would probably just die.
I guess would you rather cut off an arm or a leg?
Uh,
I'll cut off my head to save my life.
yeah, I don't know. I guess an arm. I don't know.
Okay. What would you cut off on another person?
Everything.
It's Bob from accounting. Oh, it actually turned out it wasn't life or death. It was just cloudy. Just like chopping with a axe, like a hatchet. Yeah. So what if it was like the guy says, "I'm going to shoot you," or you cut off your significant other's pinky.
I think we'd have to say goodbye to that pinky.
She probably won't be your significant other after either.
Maybe she'll understand. She really loves me. She'd understand.
I mean, we have all this time together. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I guess you can't get the 10, so we have 9 years left. What about her arm?
All right, let's move on.
Okay. We're almost done here. Since Brink of Sanity is a comedy show, I think you should talk about the Knicks. The Knicks podcast, you should make it a comedy show so Knicks fans can feel better. What do you think? Grant responds, I don't think it's a comedy. Watching them lately makes me want to cry. Bruno writes, on the other hand, this team is a joke. Grant writes, good point. And then Michael's next question is, none, stop it.
I think he was talking about stop doing the Brink of Sanity show.
I assume that's what he meant, which I really appreciate. As if like us doing this show interferes with his listening on the other show.
Yeah, it's like every time we do one, it's -1 Nick show.
Don't worry, we would not be doing any more Nick shows. The team's a travesty, and Jay doesn't have the time to do it. Next year we'll do more when Jay's school schedule settles down.
Yep.
Anyhow, what'd you learn today, Jay?
I learned that you are completely incapable of coming up with a top 5 list and keeping track of it.
I can't, because I had to save my life. I cut off my pinky finger, and I can't count. Can you please title this episode "Sucking Baby Penis Blood"?
No, I'm not calling this episode.
Why not?
No.
Who gives a shit? Just title it that.
It's all I need is to like look for a new job, and Jason McKenna and sucking baby penis blood show up in the same Google search.
That'd be the greatest end of an interview.
He just prints it out and like slides it over the desk and is like, "Can you explain this?"
I don't think I'd like to explain. Jay, listen. You seem great for the job, but I'd like to say my side hobby, sucking baby Jew penis blood. So you disgust me for making fun of my habit. If that ever comes up in a job interview, it'd be the greatest thing ever. No, Jay, I just want to ask you. I just want to. Part of sometimes at this company, sometimes there will be little babies around who will have their penises cut, and the baby blood will be sucked from it on the premises here. Do you have a problem with that, Jay? I mean, the salary is really good. This is the kind of job you really want. It'll really be good for your life. Do you have a problem with the sucking you baby penis blood in your presence?
So we are Brink of Sanity 3 on Twitter, Brink of Sanity 3, and you could leave us a voicemail 631-676-1181, and you could email us thebrinkofsanity@gmail.com.
Okay, I think that is the end of our show.
Thank you for listening. We'll be back soon.
Bye, love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye.